just arrived at Charlotte's place and it's super cute. Give you a little tour. So here's the kitchen and everything is so nice and tidy. And then we go upstairs and then Charlotte's room where I'll be staying. And yeah, super cute. So perfect. So this is day 2 in Cardiff, and the day before I had arrived in the evening from the Cotswolds, so I just went to sleep. And this morning I decided to go walk around the city. It was a beautiful day out and I stopped by the Cardiff market, which you'll see in a minute, to grab some Welsh cakes, which are apparently the breakfast snack delicacy of Wales, which you'll see in a second. And then I just walked around and explored the town. So here are the little Welsh cakes. They are basically tiny shortbreads almost, with little raisins in them traditionally, but they also had other flavors, and I got one Nutella and one Biscoff, I think it was. And honestly, they were quite dry, so I had to go get a matcha from Black Sheep Coffee in order to wash them down. But I sat outside and enjoyed the nice weather, and it was quite lovely. At this point, I had decided to walk to the Cardiff Bay, which is where their port is and their little seawall. And so I walked along the Bay Trail to the port area, and I had before been on BFF, the app, and I was hoping to meet some people while I was there to grab coffee or just break up my solo travel. So I actually ended up meeting this girl later in the afternoon, and I'll tell you more about it later, but she was super nice, and so I walked around here until it was time to go meet her. This was the Welsh Museum, which I really wanted to go to but didn't end up having enough time. And right next to that was the Welsh Parliament building, apparently, which was quite modern and architecturally interesting. And then I walked along the seawall to a little beach area. So here, in this random park, there are some interesting coal things. So basically in 1899, 40 million tons of coal were produced from the South Wales coalfields, and peak production occurred in 1913 when 56 million tons were produced. So that is pretty cool. And this, I guess, is now a park, but it used to be a colliery. So I'm gonna have to Google what that means, because to be honest I'm not entirely sure, but it's a lovely place, and they have this little wagon for the coal donated by a foundation. So yeah, that's interesting. So I want to take this moment with the pretty view to do a little introspection and reflect on my time so far. So I literally just got here last night, but it seems on first appearance to be almost the most similar city I've been to in Europe to Vancouver. I think just the fact that it's on the ocean and it has a port, and the buildings remind me a bit of downtown Vancouver, so around, I guess, 1900s, late 1800s. It just seems very similar. I've only been away for 3 days now, but it feels like a lot longer and my brain feels refreshed, which is nice. And this morning, so I woke up in Cardiff and I got a call, like almost exactly when I woke up, from a recruiter at Dior who wanted to ask me a few screening questions. It was about an internship position, and the woman said that she was going to send my application on to the hiring manager, so that's a really good sign. And so we'll see what happens for that. And I also got a reply from someone I reached out to for my thesis, which I have been struggling to find people to interview, and this guy, I just sent a quick message to him like last night because I saw his profile pop up, and he said yes, like he would be down to be interviewed, so that's really nice as well. And it just goes to show that like once you relax a bit and give it some time, things come. So I'm going to choose to believe in that philosophy and say that it was a good decision to go leave in the middle of my schoolwork and travel. So here I am on my way to meet this girl, her name is Rishika, for coffee, and we ended up going for an insanely long walk, but it was super nice to get to know her. And we walked through a beautiful garden to the Llandaff Cathedral, which is a really old cathedral, though not super old actually, because it finished construction in the 1900s, which you will be able to see by the decoration. So that was a really interesting little detour. So this is the Llandaff Cathedral, which is the head of the church in Wales and home to the Diocese of Llandaff. And it was constructed in 1107, however during the Blitz it got severely damaged and was mostly rebuilt. Oh my god, I just got back I just left the girl that I met. And we walked for actually so long. My legs hurt so badly. I think it was like another 40,000 steps today or something crazy like that. Like it was a long time, but she was so nice. Yeah, and it was a cute little walk and chat, and super interesting to hear about her life. She's from, like, her family's from Sri Lanka, but she's from Swindon, and she's just studying here for university. So yeah, it was super cool to meet her, and maybe I'll see her again, I don't know, but I'm so physically exhausted right now, and I'm just going to get dinner somewhere. Gonna try to find a place nearby to the house and literally call it a day, I think. Never been in more pain in my life. Like, even doing the grass grind, like a hike directly up the mountain, I think this is worse. My legs feel like they're about to fall off. I've been doing like 32,000 steps a day for the past 3 days, and I can't do it. My back hurts so badly, and yeah, I literally feel like I'm about to collapse. So I think tomorrow I need to take a rest day, but honestly, good for me, being healthy, being active, really going out and seeing things. But yeah, that's crazy. Show me the pizza. It looks pretty good, but I think I got ripped off because I paid like £13 for it, which from what I've seen in Cardiff pricing is way too much. But he gave me 2 free sauces so I guess it's fine. But yeah, hopefully it's good, and I'm gonna sleep so well tonight. So this is day 3, and we started with an interview for my thesis, so a bit of a working holiday, but that's okay. It was a super rainy day out, but I wanted to try this cafe in this neighborhood that I really wanted to see, and I got this really interesting cheese and Marmite pastry, which was interesting. I mean, good, but interesting. Okay, hello. First time you've seen me editing so far, but basically I wanted to give you a little backstory. So while I was at the cafe, I had gotten a phone call from Dior again, and it was basically the recruiter asking if I would be available for an interview the next day. So I got super panicky, said like yes, you know, 24 hours later works, that's fine. And I proceeded to not be able to focus on anything else. So what I did is I was like, okay, well, let's see more of Cardiff. And always before I do an interview, I have to immerse myself in the brand. So first of all, I do a lot of research on it so that I know like everything that's happening about it currently and its history and everything, which for Dior is pretty easy, but still. And then I also like to go in store to see the merchandising of the store, the layout, what products they're currently pushing forwards, you know, stuff like that. So I searched for a store in Cardiff, which you'll see in the coming clips, and I was not successful in finding one because apparently Cardiff is not the market for Dior. Who knew? So yeah, that was unsuccessful, but basically I just went to a department store and this little niche luxury brand, multi-brand store, which I thought they might have, but they don't, because they don't do wholesale, which is something I learned while I was in that store. So yeah, that was that, and I basically just went home after that and prepped for the interview. I thought for sure Sephora would have it. So I ended up being semi-successful and I found a Dior beauty, but no Dior clothing. So somewhat useful, but not super. I just wanted to include this little clip because I wanted to show how crazy Welsh is with all the characters. It's so insane. So after my hunt for Dior, I wanted to go see the arcades because Cardiff is apparently home to the most arcades in the UK, or at least in Wales. So in total there are 7 arcades from the Victorian and Edwardian times, and they are all so charming and quaint, and lots of independent stores, which were super nice to see. This is the Castle Quarter Arcade, which is one of the most well-known because it has a second floor which allows you to look down into the little street passage below, which is super nice. And honestly, the vibe was just really relaxing and chill with a bunch of people sitting outside, and yeah, you can pause here to read if you're interested. So here I just picked up my tickets for the next day for the train and went to go grab a coffee and my dinner, which I then took back to Charlotte's place and started preparing for my interview. It was literally the most horrible thing I've ever put in my mouth. It's so sweet. So while I'm recovering from whatever that was, a little update. So basically I spent all day, well, not all day, but since I got the phone call from Dior, so earlier today, thinking about the interview and being stressed about, you know, what I'm gonna say, how unprepared I am, and overall like life things again. But what I said yesterday still rings true, that it was good that I just chilled out and I actually got a call and it progressed to an interview, so that's nice. But I ended up just going back home because, first of all, I've been walking so much, so it was nice to take an easier day, and I still had been walking a lot today. Also, it started to rain, so that's not great. So I came back to the apartment and got my coffee, got a snack, and I'm going to start prepping for the interview tomorrow, as well as do some work and phone calls and stuff. So yeah, that's that. And I got dinner at a Greek place, but I'll show you that later. Okay, so I just finished my interview with Dior. There were 5 people on that phone call. 5 people. Yeah, but basically it went well, I think, and they're gonna let me know within the next week. And then I have a second interview with their manager, and then after that is an offer, hopefully. So yeah, I'm going to go to a museum now, go back to the market in the central market in Cardiff and hope for the best. But yeah, wow, that was an experience. I think it went well. I do think it went well. If I don't get it, I'm gonna have to cut this out of the vlog, otherwise that would be really embarrassing. No, but yeah, that's good. Okay, literally right after I filmed this video, the HR called me again 5 minutes after the interview ended. She was like, oh, actually they really loved me and they wanted to immediately put me through the next round. So she asked if I was free for an interview with their manager tomorrow morning, like less than 24 hours away, and I was like, I'm going to be in Liverpool. Maybe not, and in a hostel. So then I asked for Friday, which I'll be in Edinburgh and in a stable environment. So literally they told me at the end of the interview, they're like, oh, we'll get back to you like maybe at the beginning of next week. Literally 5 minutes after the phone call. Sorry, I'm really excited. But we'll see how it goes. We haven't got it yet. Gotta keep calm and carry on. But yeah, now I'm gonna go out and see the museum. After my exciting morning, I was really hungry, and so I headed back to the market to get this really famous pasta, which was, to be fair, really, really good. And they did that thing where they melt it inside an actual cheese wheel. Oh, so good. And then I headed to the Cardiff Museum, which was a mix of natural history and art and all of the above. This was so interesting. I'm not superstitious, but I really thought that this was a sign that the only fashion exhibition that they had on, this was this little case, and it was by J.W. Anderson, who is currently at Dior. So I took that as a really good omen, and it continued on my journey. It honestly surprised me so much how many famous artists they had. They had works from Botticelli, as you can see here, but also Picasso, Monet, and lots of artists that you would find in Paris, actually. So after the museum, I just headed to this park to take a look at the pretty flowers. So while I was sitting in the cafe reflecting, one of my group members from our entrepreneurship class in school messaged me, and basically we made this app. Yeah, we thought it was a really great idea. It was based off a personal issue that I had encountered, and so it had been my idea to create this app as a solution. And the team really liked it, so we went with that idea. Basically, they want to do it for real, so like try to actually create it into an app and then sell it off, I guess. But yeah, that would be a super interesting prospect. Overall, it's just been like a really crazy day for things like happening in my life. I don't know, career things, but that's a really good thing. And as you can see, the weather's nice, so at least you can enjoy my last day in Cardiff. Here I'm just heading to Tesco to pick up a little gift for Charlotte and her housemates, and then I headed to the train station, and that was that. So I'm going to end the Cardiff vlog there. It was a little bit overshadowed by the whole interview thing, but I had a really great time and I would love to go back. And yeah, I hope you also enjoyed the tour, and I will see you in the next one, which is Liverpool. So yeah, I love you all, miss you all, and see you all next time.